Hi everyone. The camera's precarious, but I think Guster and Henny are very cute right now. Okay, let's read through the Bible. It's chapter. Oh, now I have to reach for the Bible. Genesis 48. And then we'll read Mark 11 after. Sometime afterward, Joseph was told, "Your father is ill." So he took with him his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. When Jacob was told, "Your son Joseph has come to see you," Israel summoned his strength and sat up in bed. And Jacob said to Joseph, "El Shaddai appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan, and he blessed me and said to me, 'I will make you fertile and numerous, making of you a community of peoples, and I will assign this land to your offspring to come for an everlasting possession. Now your two sons who were born to you in the land of Egypt, before I came to you in Egypt, shall be mine. Ephraim and Manasseh shall be mine no less than Reuben and Simeon. But progeny, they're moving, born to you after them shall be yours. They shall be recorded instead of their brothers in their inheritance. I do this because when I was returning from Padan, Rachel died to my sorrow while I was journeying in the land of Canaan, when still some distance short of Ephrath, and I buried her there on the road to Ephrath, now Bethlehem." Noticing Joseph's sons, Israel asked, "Who are these?" And Joseph said to his father, "They are my sons, whom God has given me here." "Bring them up to me," he said, "that I may bless them." Now Israel's eyes were dim with age. He could not see. So Joseph brought them close to him, and he kissed them and embraced them. And Israel said to Joseph, "I never expected to see you again, and here God has let me see your children as well." Joseph then removed them from his knees and bowed low with his face to the ground. Joseph took the two of them, Ephraim with his right hand to Israel's left, and Manasseh with his left hand to Israel's right, and brought them close to him. But Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it on Ephraim's head, though he was the younger, and his left hand on Manasseh's head, thus crossing his hands, although Manasseh was the firstborn. And he blessed Joseph, saying, "The God in whose ways my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked, the God who has been my shepherd from my birth to this day, the angel who has redeemed me from all harm, bless the lads. In them may my name be recalled, and the names of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and may they be teeming multitudes upon the earth." When Joseph saw that his father was placing his right hand on Ephraim's head, he thought it wrong, so he took hold of his father's hand to move it from Ephraim's head to Manasseh's. "Not so, father," Joseph said to his father, "for the other is the firstborn. Place your right hand on his head." But his father objected, saying, "I know, my son, I know. He too shall become a people, and he too shall be great. Yet his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his offspring shall be plentiful enough for nations." So he blessed them that day, saying, "By you shall Israel invoke blessings, saying, 'God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh.'" Thus he put Ephraim before Manasseh. Then Israel said to Joseph, "I am about to die, but God will be with you and bring you back to the land of your fathers, And now I assign to you one portion, more than to your brothers, which I wrested from the Amorites with my sword and bow. Okay, that's the end of Genesis chapter 48. Okay, let's read Mark chapter 11 from the Living New Testament. As they neared Bethphage and Bethany on the outskirts of Jerusalem and came to the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent 2 of his disciples on ahead. Go into that village over there, he told them, and just as you enter, you will see a colt tied up that has never been ridden. Untie him and bring him here. And if anyone asks you what you are doing, just say, our master needs him and will return him soon. Off went the 2 men and found the colt standing in the street, tied outside a house. As they were untying it, some who were standing there demanded, what are you doing untying that colt? So they said what Jesus had told them to, and then the men agreed. So the colt was brought to Jesus, and the disciples threw their cloaks across its back for him to ride on. Then many in the crowd spread out their coats along the road before him, while others threw down leafy branches from the fields. He was in the center of the procession, with crowds ahead and behind, and all of them shouting, long live the King! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the kingdom he is bringing, the kingdom of our father David. God save the King. And so he entered Jerusalem and went into the temple. He looked around carefully at everything and then left. For now it was late in the afternoon, and went out to Bethany with the 12 disciples. The next morning, as they left Bethany, he felt hungry. A little way off, he noticed a fig tree in full leaf, so he went over to see if he could find any figs on it, but no, there were only leaves, for it was too early in the season for fruit. Then Jesus said to the tree, you shall never bear fruit again. And the disciples heard him say it. When they arrived back to Jerusalem, he went to the temple and began to drive out the merchants and their customers, and knocked over the tables of the money changers and the stalls of those selling doves, and stopped everyone from bringing in loads of merchandise. He told them, it is written in the scriptures, my temple is to be a place of prayer for all nations, but you have turned it into a den of robbers. When the chief priests and other Jewish leaders heard what he had done, they began planning how best to get rid of him. Their problem was their fear of riots, because the people were so enthusiastic about Jesus' teaching. That evening, as usual, they left the city. Next morning, as the disciples passed the fig tree he had cursed, they saw that it was withered from the roots. Then Peter remembered what Jesus had said to the tree on the previous day and exclaimed, look, teacher, the fig tree you cursed has withered. In reply, Jesus said to the disciples, if you only have faith in God, this is the absolute truth, you can say to this Mount of Olives, rise up and fall into the Mediterranean, and your command will be obeyed. All that's required is that you really believe and have no doubt. Listen to me. You can pray for anything, and if you believe, you have it. It's yours. But when you are praying, first forgive anyone you are holding a grudge against, so that your Father in heaven will forgive you your sins too. By this time they had arrived in Jerusalem again, and as he was walking through the temple area, the chief priests and other Jewish leaders came up to him, demanding, what's going on here? Who gave you the authority to drive out the merchants? Jesus replied, I'll tell you if you answer one question. What about John the Baptist? Was he sent by God or not? Answer me. They talked it over among themselves. If we reply that God sent him, then he will say, all right, why didn't you accept him? But if we say God didn't send him, then the people will start a riot, for the people all believed strongly that John was a prophet. So they said, "We can't answer. We don't know." To which Jesus replied, "Then I won't answer your question either." That's the end of Mark chapter 11. Interesting. There's a lot in here. The two things that stick out are the cursing of the fig tree, how he, drove everybody out, and, the money changers, and also just having faith. If you believe, you can, move mountains. Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I always have a lot of questions after I read these passages. Even though I've read them before, I still have questions. I'm sure I would be, if I lived in the time of Jesus, in the first century, I'm sure I would have been an annoying follower because I wouldn't have understood a whole lot. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that was good. Well, let's tie this up and go on. All right, everybody, take care and God bless. Bye.